Femi Olaitan is a relationship expert, a sex therapist, a mentor, a pastor, and a relationship coach. Alright, my name remains Titilola Osho, and I bring you this fresh episode. Today we want to talk about... I meant to say that in the previous video, last episode, we discussed finance in marriage. Okay, and we want to take it further today. In case you missed that, don't worry, just go and watch the last episode on this YouTube channel. Alright, so today we want to take it deeper and further. What happens when the lady earns more? Councillor Femi Olaitan.
Yeah,
Good to
be here.
Welcome. Alright, so can a man marry when a lady or the lady to get married to, okay, earns more than the man?
So, if I understand you properly, you are saying that can you marry a lady that earns more?
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, yes. What now? Now it is yes and no.
Yes, with excitement.
Yes, yes and no.
Okay.
No, in the sense that if you cannot deal with it, don't go ahead. You haven't done anything wrong. It is not a sin to say, I cannot marry someone, a lady who earns more than me. All right? I said that to say that, see, if you get married to someone who earns, to a lady who earns more than you, and you can't deal with it,
yes, you
are going to give her a lot of problems in marriage.
Okay.
All right? So it's better you let her go. All right? Look for someone else that you earn at par, at equal, at same level, or you earn more. However, yes, you can marry a lady that earns more than you, all right? I don't see that's a big deal. All right, so in the world that we're living right now, she's on your side, as it were. She's part of you, you know, as it were. So as long as you can deal with it, she can deal with it. She doesn't have a problem with submission or respect, as it were. She values you. She does not look down on you and all of that. And you also can cope with that. That means it does not affect your self-esteem. Okay. All right. That means you do not turn every conversation. You don't read meaning into every conversation.
Just because
she earns more. Then you can go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, that was for those in a relationship looking at getting married. Now, let's look at it from the point of view of those who are married already. All right. So when a man or when a woman, the wife, earns more than the man, should that be a concern? Well,
let me say that. Now, even while dating,
yes,
when the woman earns more than the man,
okay,
there are one or two other counsel.
Okay.
Number one, you do not need to make that public.
Oh,
all right, because if you can deal with it, it does not mean your friends can deal with it. It does not mean that your relatives, your parents can deal with it.
Okay.
All right. So you've got to find a way to keep that between the two of you. Wow. All right. Don't go about, flouting. My wife has money and all of that. You know.
My ATM
some
machine.
Yes, my ATM machine.
Yeah.
You know, some other people will read meaning into it, and it may eventually get to you or to her.
Even talking about parents' reaction, especially to what you just said now, when some husbands will just go out there and say, oh yes, and because I'm proud of my wife, and she earns more, and she has all of the money more than I do. Now I've seen that sometimes cause issues between the wife and the mother-in-laws, the husband's mom, or the parents, when they begin to say, oh, she's using our son's head, she's using our son's glory and all of that. What do you think of those scenarios?
That's one of the reasons why I said that. You've got to keep it between the two of you. Okay. And there are also other techniques, other counsel, when this occurs. Number two, now, every time you have to give things to your own parents, okay, don't push your wife forward. It means that if you have to give money here and there, yes, because she asked bulk of the funds, yes, does not mean she has to be the one to present it, to disburse it. Okay. that will come across differently, in a very funny way.
Okay.
It will come across as though she's domineering. She really want to show off. You won't have the chance to say to people that you allow her to do that. All right. So I will say that you don't have to push her forward at all times, and people don't need to know about it. Don't flaunt, your wife's wealth, as it were. Be mindful of how you talk about it in public, Have a system that you operate, at home, and stick to that pattern, However, when people start coming up with stories like she's using your glory, this is prevalent in this part in Africa.
Yes.
That's not true. That is not true. The state of things before you got married. Okay. Particularly before you got married. If this is the case before you got married. Okay. The state of things before you got married. All right. Do your best to project your wife well before your people.
Now this is to the man.
Yeah, to the man.
Okay.
You have a lot of responsibilities. The guy has a lot of responsibility. Okay. You got to do your best to project your wife well before your people. And you may have to go to the extra mile to teach her as to how to behave.
I was going to get to that. How is such a woman or a lady that circumstance, how is she supposed to behave? What is expected of her in a case where she earns more than the husband?
Well, ideally, it shouldn't be anything different from what is expected of an average wife, as it were. Okay. The only clause here now, the only issue here is that she earns more. Okay. So I think who she has to deal with is her husband. Right. In this case, the guy must be secured. He must not have a low self-esteem, and you must be sure of that before you get married to him. All right, as a lady. Okay. Then don't rub it in. All right, that means don't
rub it on his face.
Rub it on his face, as it were. Okay. Do your best to go the extra mile. You got to watch how you talk, your tone of voice, your submission, and all of that. Remember that guy has ego, and one of his most important, most basic need of a man is respect. All right, so you got to put that into consideration and deliberately ensure that is not flouted or something.
Wow. Right, so it's not a big deal after all if a lady earns more in a marriage or in a relationship. Thank you so much.
However, this guy must do his best to up his game. So that means don't get comfortable. Don't just stay there and then say that my wife will take care of it. My wife will take care of it, and all of that. That you should not put yourself under pressure anyway. Either. To compete or to make a statement or something.
But very few men will not do that, Councillor Femi. I mean, because of the ego, some men cannot just stand it that, she earns more than me. And,
But really, what women are looking for in guys is more than money. They need leadership, direction, attention, companionship, trust. All right, so you can leverage on all of these things. All right, you can leverage on direction, you can leverage on trust, you can leverage on being productive, all right, being resourceful, being responsible, and all of that. Make yourself so valuable that she almost will not want to do without you.
Wow, that was awesome. I mean, hot. Okay, so you've heard it. It's not bad after all if a lady earns more than a man in marriage or relationship. Well, I know what I have chosen and what I would prefer. What about you? Don't forget to drop your questions, comments in the comment sections, and like, subscribe, share with your friends. All right, until another time. Bye.